Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is March the 30th, 2021, and and the topic today is the gift of free will. It's funny, I think I was going to say the today and topic, like some type of merging of that word. But anywho, um, yeah, here we are. The gift of free will. Obviously, there's a lot of things that was on my mind this morning. I'm dangerously close to making an announcement. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on my announcement, but I'm super close. Though I am super close. It's a milestone. It is a huge accomplishment. It's like a goal that I've had for like years. So I'm gonna wait though. I'm gonna wait. Um, but yeah, so I'm excited about that. I mean, I woke up um, making some final touches and things on that. But yeah, but when I came on in here for my prayer and meditation, um, now I was a bit distracted. I was. It was good though. It was talking about trust and everything like that, and made some beautiful points. Uh, that we can both love and trust God and everything like that. And I was like, that's a wonderful thing to reflect on. Uh, but somehow I was a little bit distracted. Um, Probably thinking a little bit about what I'm working on, but I also just in general this whole thing. Like I know there's a lot going on. I mean, y'all know, um, the hot topics of the past few days and everything like that. And you know what? Today and okay, I don't know if I'm backtracking. I don't think I am, but I don't know. I don't know if you want to see me as like I'm backtracking or something. But my thought today was, you know what? Listen, I mean, I know I say it all the time. I say it all the time about free will. Y'all know me. If you listen to me by now, you know that I feel, hey, we got free will. Make your decision X, Y, and Z. I'm still team free will. You know what I'm saying? I'm team. You know what I mean? You have the choice because God gave us the choice. Um, and so because of that, it's like hey, by all means, you have your free will to serve and do what you want to do, right? Let me have my free will to do and serve what I want to do. Um, I see people still talking about the hot topic of the weekend. I hate to even bring it up because it's like, the more you talk about it, the more that it just, grows. So obviously I haven't even said the person's name on here. Yeah, because who knows, we might talk about it on Friday, but we'll see. But anyway, obviously, but again, if you've paid attention to anything in pop culture over the past few days, then you probably already know about the certain artist that has put out certain satanic um, products or whatnot, and it's just like, I mean, um, but yeah, I mean, hey, and I'm seeing, people defend it. I'm seeing people, are who are against it as well. But there are people that are like, being like, oh, this is art, and oh, this is whatever, and and this is the greatest artistic work I've seen, and whatever. I still ain't seen it. In regards to the video, I still don't know if I want to see it. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But but either way, um, how I'm feeling right now is like, you know what? Hey, let a man do his art. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess same thing like I was telling about the other guy. I mean, um, some months ago. Like, I mean, now the thing is, um, both of these individuals that I mean, one individual I did talk to your guy about and called his name or his artist name uh, a few months ago, and then now this guy. Now, I think I think my issue, and this is just me, but I think my issue is that, people, that they are leading astray with their thoughts and their opinions and their art. That's the thing. However, I mean, but just because based on, like, because as a Bible believing person and a Bible reading person, they are putting in false narratives out there of what the word says about different topics and stuff. And so because of that, it's like, I mean, well, one, this is why we all should be reading the Bible for ourselves and getting an understanding for ourselves and not let anyone else influence us um, in that, however, I guess if people aren't doing that for themselves, then obviously they can easily be led astray by individuals that either have some type of disdain for the word of God or hate for the word of God or whatever, So I think that would be my issue if I was to really just think about like as well as, of course, this most recent thing being so, you know, um, available for children. However, I mean, at the end of the day, parents, again, we need to be monitoring our children and what they're taking in. And yeah, so I mean, by the grace of God, my son is just 2 right now. So I don't think he's gonna watch that. However, I understand that there are parents or there are, children that are of age that have some type of understanding and also have some type of knowledge of how to work these devices. And, they have that easy access to that information and materials and stuff. And so this is why we all need to be on our individual jobs, getting our houses in order, as well as like, sweeping around our own front doors, the songs say, and everything like that, being true parents and parenting our kids and everything like that. Because I mean, honestly, now, like, because yeah, there were things that I couldn't listen to growing up. There was things that I couldn't watch growing up. There was things that, for the most part, my, parents pretty much monitored and, everything like that. And so we just need to get back to that type of parenting across the board. I mean, for those that are concerned about their kids and the things that are being exposed these days. Um, I mean, that's what it boils down to. And I mean, honestly, do your child need a device? I mean, I get like, the whole aspect of, safety and whatnot, but I mean, well, right now we're in quarantine. So, right, right. Okay. uh, technically, I mean, it seems like the world will open back up, but technically, they say we still in quarantine. So, you know, okay, so we at home, right? So they with you, right? Your children are with you. They don't need them devices. At least, I mean, if you're gonna, if you are concerned about them, or try to block whatever you can. I mean, I know it's interesting because sometimes these apps are I don't know. I don't know because I saw something recently. It was like some type of report where it was like Google or something told the child or gave a notification to the child when the parent put on a parent setting or whatever. Um, Something like that had happened, and I just was like, "What? Why are you contacting the child to give the child a heads up that parental guards have been put on their account or whatever?" I don't know, like anyway, so yeah, really, really think about whether your child needs a device. Is the advice that I would give parents, and obviously, teach them what you want them to know, and and if they're old enough to ask questions and really get a true understanding of everything, then have those conversations as parents with your children, um, because at the end of the day, it's out here. You know what I mean? As they say, it's out here, or it's out here. However you want to say it, but either way, it's this is um, you can just see just how much is exposed, and so we just need to be diligent about what the information that we want our children to know and everything like that. So that's But yeah, I mean, hey, the man want to make his satanic products, hey, I mean, just hey, if he can make his satanic products, then let me make my God products and let us not have no issue. You know what I mean? Because if there's gonna be issue with me making my God products, then I mean, let's have then keep the same energy for the Satan products. But if it's not gonna be no issue, then like everybody got free will. We want to serve God over here. You want to serve Satan over there. You know, I mean, now obviously they don't go together, but I mean you have the free will though. That's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. Like I mean, when I first saw the stuff, it is kind of alarming, but I'm just well, it's not that alarming because I mean, if you read the Bible at all, like however, but I'm just saying as a parent and as somebody that's just looking at it, it's like, man, like, wow, this really blatant, it's really brazen, as we was talking about a few days ago. It's really just out there. It's really just like boom. But hey, I say, fellow believers, Bible believing people, we need to be just as bold, just as brazen with God, and because we have that free will, and uh God gave us that free will, and that is a gift and everything like that. So that's just, I mean, kind of like a real long summary of how I came to the topic today. I mean, because after my prayer meditation, there was a couple of things that came to my mind, but it just pretty much brought me back to this conversation about free will. So let's take a look, y'all. Joshua 24:15 says, "And if it is evil in your eye to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods of whether the gods your father served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And there you have it. I mean, I guess I kind of stumbled there because I wanted to let you guys know that that's a lowercase gods. But obviously, they got S on it, so I hope that you guys understood that was the lowercase gods that they were referring to in that passage. Uh, However, yeah, and there you have it. I mean, because like even as I reflected yesterday, right? I told you guys I was reflecting on this whole idea of evangelism and how people are taking evangelism and making it like someone hates people by sharing the love of Christ, or sharing the gospel, or sharing what the Bible says. People feel as if you hate them, you don't love them, you whatever because you're sharing. When one, the Bible tells us to share. So I mean that's why we're sharing. One, two, you know it is love to share with somebody, like, or to try to help someone in regards to this spiritual thing, because I mean at the end of the day, again, and like I said, God is working with me on it now, because me, y'all lucky I'm not God. And just like any other human is a God, because I mean I'm sure we would have been washed our hands of humanity. Um, you know, just because it's so. But yeah, so with that being said, it's just like hey, like this verse here says, if it's evil for you to serve the Lord, if evil in your eye to serve the Lord, then you choose who you're going to serve. But my house over here, we gonna serve the Lord. And I mean, I think that's good. I think that's what God has given us. This is the gift that God has given us. Now obviously he wants us to choose a certain way. Obviously he wants us to choose him. But it does make me kind of think like why he gave us so much freedom and so many choices. Um because I mean, well, I understand the aspect of like, okay, if he didn't give us choices and freedom in that aspect, then we wouldn't be what we are. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be like, we would just be robots, or like these, like the Sims game, like just forcing them to do this or do that. I mean, you know, so I mean, I may not fully understand, why he gave us so much free will. Um, However, thank and praise God for it, and I'm thanking Him that I am, uh, that I have the mind to get into His Word and to get to know Him and His will and everything like that. So yeah. Now check this out. I'm gonna read part of Deuteronomy 30:19 and 20. The part that stuck out to me. So this part says this. I have here we go. I have set, yes, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore, choose life that you and your offspring may live. Um, that one made me kind of chuckle today. Um, and not in a bad, like, not because it's funny. It's more so because it's like, man, like, kind of maybe obvious, that a lot of the choices nowadays is very much against life. Um, and it says here he wants us to choose life so we and our offspring may live. However, again, a lot of the choices these days are like, okay, well, how can well, one won't provide offspring, to you know, a lot of our offspring is not living because of the choices. We keep choosing death in a way, pretty much. Um, and I can't lie, yeah, the gift of free will does seem like a blessing and a curse because, um, a lot of times if we are not choosing life, then I mean, the curse is death. And so it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. That's the verse that stood out to me, but that entire thing is going to be in the go deeper section. Let me read this to you guys before I give my next thought. It's Genesis 2:16 and 17. It says, "And the Lord commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." Um, yeah, so once again, like this brings up the question to me, like, man, you know, why these choices? Like, why make the tree, as people say? Like some people even question, like, well, why did he even make the devil? Um, I mean, well, I came across a verse that could have answered that last one. Now that I think about it, but I don't know if I wrote it down. But in my little research this morning, I came across a verse that was like, interesting. Um, but yeah, apologize. I don't remember what it is, and I don't want to mess it up. So, um, but yeah, so that the first choice, right? The first choice of whether they was going to do what God said or not, um, or in this case, Adam in particular. Yeah, you know, um, again, it's that balance, y'all. Because on one hand, it's like I understand, why give free will, let people choose, you know, um, it just made me think though, like if you notice, I want to say in the last verse I just read, and even in this one, and I think even in the next one that I'm going to read, it gives us a choice, but then he also tells us what to do. Um, and then he tells us why. If do you notice that? I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I noticed that. Like in Deuteronomy, second ago, in that part that stood out to me, it's saying, you know, hey, I've set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Then he tells us choose life. And why? Because so you and your offspring may live, right? Then here in Genesis, he says to Adam, you know, hey, you can eat up every tree in the garden. I'm paraphrasing here, right? So you can eat up every tree in the garden, but this tree right here, which is the tree of knowledge and good of good and evil. And then he tells them why. Because when you eat of that tree, you should surely die. So on one hand, it's like, again, you can ask the question, well, why made the tree, right? You can do fine. You can ask those questions. However, and I ain't got the answer to them questions. I don't know. But what came to me this morning as I was reading these is every gift, if you think about it, for the most part, well, let's think about toys. Let's think about toys for children, right? Every gift that you give them or a toy that you give them comes with some instructions. I don't know if you noticed that. Majority of them do. And you can play with them however you want to play with them, because you bought them. You can play with them however you want to play with them, right? However, to play with it correctly, you should play with it in the way that they told you to play with it. If that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that came to me this morning as I was reading this here. And I just was like, wow, okay, Lord, I see what you did there. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that this is the equivalent of a game. However, if we're saying that free will is a gift, right? And He given us the gift of free will. And if we put it in that context of, hey, when you give a kid a gift or whatever, or if you give your child a gift, let's say it like that, your child, because we are His children, right? So we give our child a gift and then tell the child, hey, I'm giving you this gift, right? But there's a certain way you're supposed to use this gift. There's a certain way you're supposed to play with this gift. And then the child goes off and doing something in a different way. I know. Thank you, Lord. So basically, I'm just reminded here of my son. He'll come up to me. He has these little race cars. Now, obviously, I mean, I don't know if the race car has instructions, but obviously, if you take it apart, then it's not going to operate the way that it do. So then when he takes it apart, and then he comes up to me. He's like, "I'm sad. It's broken." You see what I'm saying? And then I'm like, well, hey, you got other cars or whatever, this is what I tell him. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, y'all. I'm just saying that's just something to think about there in regards to this gift and everything like that. Speaking of, Galatians 5:13 says, "For you were called to freedom. Brothers, only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another." So again, yes, you have free will. Yes, you can do whatever you want to do, right? But it does also say, like, hey, don't use this gift to, for opportunities of the flesh, which honestly, a lot of the opportunities of the flesh, well, I guess leads to death in some way. If you really think about it, most things, because I mean, I don't know if I'm fine. If we're gonna go deeper and think about it, then, y'all. Let's think about it. Like, okay, the opportunity for the flesh, right? So what? Okay, lust. Okay, so if you have freedom, right? You got the freedom to wait for marriage, or you got the freedom to, you know, go and be promiscuous and X, Y, and Z, right? Okay, so if you choose to wait for marriage and all that stuff, then you not only do you have a spouse now, then you two can come together and have, create children, have a family, life goes on, everything like that, right? Now, if you choose the alternative, now here's your choices, right? So you either you're gonna have single parents, or you're gonna get an abortion. Okay. So then, all right, if you got an abortion or something like that, you've done to kill a child, there's some death there, right? So it's already led to death. That choice, that freedom you had, has led to death already. In that regard. But let's say, hey, you keep the child X, Y, and Z. but now you got, the issue of, you know, whatever, if you're not together and stuff like that, then you got the issues that come with, you know, being with a baby mom or baby father or whatever the case is. And then say you go off and marry someone else and everything. Now y'all got those issues on top of that. And so it's like, and then a lot of times the death, a lot of, now this is deeper. I don't know. I'm gonna share it with you though. Basically, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I think one of the main, like, okay, we can always think about death in the physical, right? We can think about the big, like the big death, just the death, like when you gone, right? However, there's a death as well to who you're supposed to be, who God created you to be, His will for your life. There's a death there that happens. So you never become who you're supposed to be because you're choosing to focus on everything else and use your freedom to operate in the flesh. Am I making? I don't know if I'm making sense to y'all this morning. And I mean, hey, I'm gonna go back and listen to this myself to see if I make sense to myself. However, this is what's coming to me this morning as I'm reading this here and everything. And that death is just as important, I would say, as the physical death. Because again, so if we go back to that scenario, we're thinking about being promiscuous versus the waiting and everything like that. So now you have two single people that have a child, and maybe they don't like each other, maybe maybe they do like each other, whatever the case is, but now they have to do what they got to do to make sure the child is taken care of. Maybe the lady never operates in her gifts, maybe the man never operates in his gifts. They just go, they just work, they just they never acknowledge God in any way, and then next thing you know, they passed and they've never done what they were supposed to do, I guess, outside of bringing this child into the world and everything. And then now the child grows up, and it's just the whole thing. Like, that's just one scenario, y'all. This is just one example. I'm not trying to sit here and again, like I told you guys, my mom ended up being a single mother because my father passed before I was born. So there's no judgment on single parenthood or anything like that. Or and obviously, I guess her situation didn't include being promiscuous. But what I'm saying is that I don't have anything against people that have to raise children on their own or something. It's just that I'm just trying to give examples of how a lot of the things that we operate or the opportunities for the flesh, they lead towards death uh, of some sort, whether that's like physical death. Like, okay, it's probably easier to talk about vengeance. Hey, you could do what God says and, show mercy, so show grace, let Him handle vengeance or whatnot. Or you can go and take, matters into your own hands. And then you can either say, for instance, you take someone's life, then what happens to you? Either sometimes, most of the time, if you notice, a lot of people kill themselves when they've done something wrong to that magnitude. So that boom, there's the death already. Or say you go to jail or something like that. Again, you're not doing the will of God, the will that God has put on your life. So then maybe you can end up doing some things in jail for Him. But how much more you could have done outside and being free, truly, and everything like that. And so it's just I'll just say, think about it. Think about the choices. Think about like these opportunities of the flesh that they're referring to here, and think about how you can see in your mind whether you see if they lead towards death or not. Whichever death we're talking about, this spiritual death of the God's will for you, or the physical death of some life being lost. Whatever it is, I just say, if you can and will, do that little activity that can help you go deeper to really truly think about whether this is accurate. Does taking opportunities of the flesh lead to death? I think it does, but you guys can do that exercise on your own. I just gave you two examples, so take that and do something with it. But anyway, Revelations 22:17, it says, "The Spirit and the bride say, 'Come.' And let the one who hears say, 'Come.' And let the one who is thirsty come. Let the one who desires take the water of life without price. You know, as I wrote that down this morning, and got ready for, for this or whatever, the thing that came to me after I wrote that final word of saying without price, it's just that the thing that sealed it in my mind was like, because the price has already been paid. Jesus paid the price. So we don't have to pay the price. We don't have to pay for anything. All we have to do is believe in the one who paid the price. So this is how we can come, this is how we can, for those that want to use their free will to make the decision to follow God and do his will for your life and everything like that. I mean, obviously he wants all of us to do this. There's going to be some in the Go Deeper section. It's going to, because some questions that came up to me as I was writing Go Deeper verses is, one, why would people choose the alternative? So I think some of those verses may answer that question. And then obviously going deeper about just the free will gift and everything like that. Couple of those verses may touch that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not God's will for any of us to die. He doesn't get any pleasure from that, from what I read in one of the verses. I think that verse is in the Go Deeper section, but I apologize, I don't remember. But yeah, so again, it's like he's giving us these gifts. He's giving us this gift of free will with the instructions. And he's going to step above not only the instructions, but the warnings. He got the warning label on there too. Like, hey, so if you do this, then this is what's going to happen. So, I mean, it's up to us to take it or not. I mean, obviously, and everything like that. But yeah, that's just something to think about today, y'all. That is the juice. Now, the Bible verse of today is Romans 5:8. It says, "But God commendeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Man, that one ran kind of long. I didn't know how long I was talking. Sorry. But yeah, I know I just happened to look down. I'm like, oh, it's over 30 minutes. Oops. But anyway, yeah, man, I don't know, y'all. That's just something to think about today. I mean, yeah. Y'all can let me know what you think. But yeah, I don't want to be long your time because we already, I already talked to you guys over 30-something minutes. Y'all probably tired of seeing my face and hear my voice. Shout out to my boy, UN. Appreciate you. It was so funny. I want to say, like, when I woke up or when I came in here, one of those, I saw that you commented and I was like, I did let you know when I was getting ready to go live. However, I understand that because you just watched the one from yesterday. So it probably is better for you to just watch them after or however it is. But thank you for tuning in as always. Thank you for commenting and leaving me a message. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So I really appreciate that. And I hope that these encourage you. I hope that do you be looking at our verses in the Go Deeper section? Do you be going deeper, you? And that's what I want to know. So I'm going to look forward to that answer tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Nah, but yeah, and yeah, shout out to the rest of my peeps, y'all. Shade Tree, Miss Cherie Rose, and Tauheed. If y'all decide to tune in to this episode, shout out to you all. There's some exciting things coming, but I'm wait. I'm wait. I do stuff and I can't hold water sometimes. So I'm gonna do my best to wait and until it's official tissue, as they say. Even though it's pretty much official, but I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. But anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the juice. Thank you so much again for listening and watching. I'm gonna let y'all go. Look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye.